back to DXB Today, where we continue our deep dive into the world of, what are we calling it today? Cultural entrepreneurship, looking at how culture in all its beauty, in all its guises, has become not just a passion project, but a business for so many individuals and organisations here. Our next guest is testament of that, a founder dedicated to developing music and performing arts here across the region, leading festivals and world-class talent by offering a platform to local artists and of course visiting artists as well. Please welcome to the show the visionary, the owner of The Fridge, Shelly Frost, returning to the show. Good to see you as always.
Thank you very much, Tom. Lovely to be here.
Nice to have you. I mean, I've just been sort of reminiscing on how long ago it was that you and I had our first sit-down, first sort of conversation about the development of the arts here, the development of culture in all its different guises. I mean, before we get on to the specifics and the role that the Fridge has been playing, let's just talk about the infrastructure that Dubai Arts and Culture have been putting into place in recent years. There's a lot more of a sort of system in place now. Is it bearing dividends?
Yeah, there's definitely been a focus toward encouraging individuals and those who are artistically inclined. There's a lot more freedom. There are structures now in place, which means that you can pursue your creative career in a far more dynamic way than ever before.
Yeah.
And I think that's extraordinarily encouraging, and that feeds through to everything.
Because I remember, certainly when I got here, it used to be back in the days when, it was all about visa, wasn't it? You needed a job in order to get the visa, etc. But again, with the sort of inspiration, it gives you that ability to allow your artistic instincts to really express themselves with the sort of freedom and the knowledge, that you're here for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really exciting that there's a focus now on the importance of those creative industries.
Yeah.
And creating, I think, further infrastructure to support and grow, as we've heard today, which is very exciting.
And talking about growing, Shelley, you and The Fridge are an institution to Dubai, I would say. And The Fridge, I went past the other day and I've seen you've got a little stage thing outside now and all things are happening. So how has the progression been for the last few years growing into the venue, which is the venue in Dubai for performance?
Well, thank you very much. It has been very down, then up, obviously decimated during the pandemic times. And we were just talking about this, a real reassessment of what you were focusing on, why you were doing this, as you gear yourself up to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and get out of an absolutely seemingly insurmountable hole at that stage. And with that clarity and unprecedented growth in the years, of course, kicked off by the fabulous Expo 2020, which saw The Fridge providing all of the entertainment for the main stage at Expo, which is extraordinary. 340 artists over 6 months, and impeccably delivered, with many countries still under lockdown at that time. And then the growth of the venue itself, as you mentioned, we've had a long, much needed spruce up, and are able to service the emerging scene so much better in so doing, which has always been the focus of the venue.
Yeah.
So while we produce and create our own shows, festivals, activations, concerts outside, we've always had a very, very strong focus internally on the indie artists, those creating, not necessarily just your emerging, but those who are already on a path and still need that continued.
Yeah. Shelley, one of the important things that with your amazing work that's happening, whether it's the government or the private sector, our big role is to provide platforms for artists that or performing artists that are part of your network, that come play and practice within your network, to come and do their shows. I think within Sikka, but I think Expo have done a great job in accelerating that. I think prior to Expo, the number of artists and even performing artists, when the previous Sikka I was talking to the team, the number grew after Expo 100%, 100 something percent. And I think that acceleration happened because of Expo. I think still we're not there in terms of giving enough platforms to the creatives. We need like to clone you, like 2-3 of you to have more in Dubai.
I
And
agree.
especially it's important for Dubai.
You make a really interesting point there, because I know for a fact of several artists who came over to Expo, and they came to Dubai for the very first time for Expo, and they stayed, and they've stayed ever since. And that was from an arts point of view. I mean, how many times have we seen that from a business point of view, etc.? They're getting those new eyeballs, but being able to convince people to stay and use this as a platform is obviously part and parcel of it.
And the same example, whether it's in Sikka last year with Dubai Calligraphy Biennale, a lot of events, and we talk to people. When is the first time you showcased in Dubai or done something in Dubai? It was Expo. So a lot of talents were pulled to the region by Expo. And also we try our best to retain them here in the region by the Golden Visa.
Yeah.
But it's the likes of for yourself and other entities that makes it. They would not only need a platform, but they need a place to call, like a ecosystem, a place to talk to like-minded people, and the fridge gives them that I would say space for them.
You couldn't have said it better, because you see so many international artists coming and buying homes over here because they have the option of living here because of the golden visa. Even if this Dubai may not be their primary base, everyone seems to at least have invested in a property over here, and the opportunities here are endless. Coming back to you, Shelly, some of the recent shows you've done at the Fridge, When Chime, at Toast, Metal Fest, Alku's Arts Merge, Artists for Peace. What are some of the other events that we can look forward to?
Coming up, we have Amel Maklouthi, who is a Tunisian artist, much loved. She performs on the 4th of March at the Fridge Concert Series, which is a nice small venue, and all the way up to superstar Sarah Geronimo and Filipino mighty iconic band of the 90s called Bamboo, who take over Coca-Cola Arena on the 14th of April. So that's the sort of gamut. And everything in between. Concert series kicks off very soon. And we have at least one performance a week, and extremely eclectic. When Chime and Toast is an amazing indie band out of India. And there's
How many years
really
now
something going on.
for the Fridge?
16 years.
16
Oh,
years,
wow.
and still cool.
Yeah, it still is. It still is.
Of course.
Yeah? Let's get the
All
t-shirts
lemonade.
printed. Let's get the t-shirts printed.
But Dr. Said, you spoke about something else, an ecosystem.
Yeah.
And that is something that's vital. And apart from the performance possibilities, there's also the possibility where you know artists that you're able to engineer opportunities for them for growth through the festivals that we populate, and the opportunities within the UAE and potentially the region, with the support.
This is it. Yeah, the UAE is supporting, the government is supporting like from no end. I mean, it's beautiful to see it, see the evolution of it as well. But Shelly, thank you so much for being here. We're going to have many other conversations. I'm going to be coming down to the Fridge on a regular basis as well. Come for the concert series. So keep flying the flag and doing what you're doing.
We look forward to seeing you all.
Thank you so much. Now, today's spotlight is on a brand highlighting Filipino heritage and culture. Big up the Kabayans. They're doing it through the accessibility of classic, ready-to-wear traditional clothing. This is Babylin Buchan from Turno at TCG.
I am Babylin Bachen of Terno by the Cultured Group, and we are the first online shop for traditional Filipino ready-to-wear clothing, sustainable handmade gifts, and accessories. There are many Filipinos here in the UAE, and we have very little or almost no access to our own cultural Filipino clothing. And we are here to provide this to all our Filipino residents in the UAE. We want to make it accessible to all of us and be able to help preserve our cultural heritage for the generations to come. we have successfully produced a short documentary film called Segunda Pulo. We have produced this alongside a creative agency based in Dubai and filmed our Filipino artisans back home. Running a business that is also a passion project is very rewarding, but like many other businesses, we face many challenges. And for us, that is balancing the emotional attachment with our strategic business decision making. We also face financial pressures and burnout from intense personal involvement in our projects. We want to be the #1 shop and brand for Filipino products, be it clothing, accessories, gifting, and more. There are many Filipinos in Dubai, and the government has opened up different platforms for us to be able to open up a business. With every purchase of Terno product worth 250 dirhams, 10 dirhams is saved towards our Artisans Fund, which we use in funding livelihood programs back home.
Yeah, just a little bit of insight. The actions and the activities of Terno by TCG. We're working with a rather large community here in the region, that's for sure.
Indeed.
Right, time now for the roundup. Let's get over to Ash.
Thank you, Tom. Now, the Dhukar Club, a new community space for senior citizens, opens in Al Khawanij, Dubai. The new cultural space will feature a library, theatre, wellness services and smart platforms to help senior citizens get better access to government services. You know, I was just looking this place up. It's huge. It's about 20,000 square foot. There's a wellness centre that also has personalized nutrition and a lot of fitness programs. I think besides just the physical wellness, I think for the old timers, it's also a great cultural and social enrichment. Why was I not supposed to say that? No, I think it's a really cool. Yeah, the old timers.
No, I think it's a wonderful space. I mean, I remember getting into a taxi many years ago, and it was an old taxi driver, and he was just like, yeah, and he was telling me an old remedy. He says you'd have camel's milk, rocket, and dates, and it's a wonderful combination that keeps you strong and healthy. And I was like, well, thank you.
You need a protein shake these days.
Yeah, I know, exactly, man. Just keep it nice and simple. And that's the thing, you can only get that from those old school people.
I think this is a great initiative. I think that when you see the number of different government entities working together, to make Dubai, the UAE, a more attractive place for people to retire to, regardless of background as well, but also to concentrate on senior citizens. More people are living longer, people are living in the region longer, people are coming to the region from all parts of the world, and therefore having something for every different age group is a necessity, and therefore this focus on senior citizens who have more time, and of course the importance of, and I hate to bring it all back down to money, but there's nothing wrong with the grey dollar at the end of the day. It's imperative, isn't it, for any country?
And it's important. So now, Dhukhar, or Nadi Dhukhar, as we call it in Arabic, is an important initiative that's done with a lot of government agencies.
Yeah.
And the idea is those senior citizens are treasures for us. Number one, we want to keep them always healthy. It's extremely important. Number two, also to learn from them. And also a lot of them, you can't imagine, a lot of the senior citizens, they would want to learn something new every single time. So we in Dubai Culture, we provide the libraries and we do a couple of, I would say, courses and workshops there. It's always, they're always interested to learn something new, but also they're extremely interested to I would say, serve the country by, disseminating that knowledge that they had across the years and give it to the people that come there. The idea of it is not only to have senior citizens sit together, talk together. It's done. So, for example, the one in Al Safa, it's an open space. You could come, have a coffee, and talk to someone,
Learn.
and that's there, and learn.
Learn from their
Yeah.
experiences.
Yes,
yeah.
it
I
is.
mean, that's what the city is just so good at: learning from the past, learning from the heritage, embracing that, and taking the workings of the past and the heritage and building to the future as well. And we should do the same with humans as well.
Yeah. And also a couple of things where even in Dubai culture and within the government agencies, experimenting. If you want to do something new, if you have, whether it's a project like Sikka, an event like Sikka, or any other project, you have a space that you could consult with those senior citizens in, and you could talk to them, and they could, tell you things. Definitely, even if we're experts in what we do, they would know more in some particular things. So it's an important thing to keep them healthy, to keep them part of the community, and also to learn from them.
But you said something key as well, to keep them in conversation. They want to learn from the young as well. So if we have that bouncing relationship where they want to keep young, to as you age, you also want to be young. So it's the best of both worlds.
That's true.
Indeed it is. Dr. Murray is with us as our guest co-host here today. Absolute honour to have him with us. Still plenty to look forward to. Here is what's coming up.
We find out more about food and culture tourism in the region with the founder of Frying Pan Adventures.
Plus, Christine is live in the studio, ready to perform, so do not go anywhere.